Empty classroom. For nearly 40 years, St. Mary's Secondary School had stood abandoned on the outskirts of town. Its windows were broken, vines covered the walls, and no one went near it after dark. The locals all repeated the same warning: never enter classroom 13 at night. David, a 32-year-old security guard, didn't believe in ghost stories. One evening, he was hired to patrol the abandoned school while surveyors prepared it for demolition. Easy money, he thought. At exactly 11:45 p.m., he unlocked the rusty front gate and stepped inside. The hallways were silent. Dust covered every desk. The air smelled old and damp. As he walked past the classrooms, his flashlight flickered. Then he heard it. Children laughing, soft at first, then louder. The sound echoed from the end of the hallway. It was coming from classroom 13. David frowned. There can't be kids in here. He followed the sound until he reached the classroom door. The laughter suddenly stopped. He slowly pushed the door open. The room was empty. Rows of old desks sat untouched beneath layers of dust. Only one desk looked different. It was perfectly clean. On top of it lay an old attendance register. David picked it up. The date on the cover read, October 14th, 1986. Curious, he flipped through the pages. Every student's name had a check mark beside it, except the final name. He stared at it. His blood turned cold. The last name on the list was David Morgan, his own name. Below, it was written in reading, absent. Just then, slam, the classroom door shut on its own. David rushed toward it. It wouldn't budge. He pulled harder. Nothing. Then chairs behind him began scraping across the floor. Slowly, one by one, he turned around. Every desk was now occupied. Children sat silently in the seats. Their faces were pale. Their uniforms looked burned and torn. None of them blinked. At the front of the room stood a teacher with her back turned. She slowly picked up a piece of chalk and wrote on the blackboard, "Welcome, David." The children all turned their heads toward him at the exact same time. Without moving their mouths, they spoke together. "You're late." David screamed and slammed his shoulder against the door. It finally burst open. He ran through the hallway without looking back. Behind him came the sound of dozens of tiny footsteps chasing him. He reached the front gate, jumped into his truck, and sped away. The next morning, his manager called. "Why didn't you finish your shift?" David quit immediately. Months later, the old school was demolished. Workers said they found nothing unusual, except beneath the floor of classroom 13, they uncovered a sealed attendance register. The date was October 14th, 1986. Every student's name had a check mark, and at the bottom was one final name, David Morgan. This time, his attendance was marked.